So, you may remember that a couple of years back, I actually created a member strategies section in the forum and we started to share ideas, started to create some strategies together. And one of my favorite strategies, the layaway strategy, which you might know already because you might have watched some of my previous videos and I've covered this a bit, is has still been going really well. And it's had 3,000 results now. So we are at the point where I'm going to do another review of it, kind of show you some tweaks I've made based on the stats and data that we've got. And I'm just really excited that we've got 3,000 forward tested results from this football strategy to analyze today. And some great things have come of it. So stay tuned till the end of the video because you're going to want to see what to do here. And this is a really good example of how to analyze a strategy, okay? Whether it's successful or not, you can analyze it in this way and work out if there's an angle you can take to make money. I'm Martin from Betfair Trading community, by the way. But let's crack on with it today because this is going to be a busy one. Okay, so you can see here on the forum, this is the thread I created. I just wanted to point out, by the way, 2,000 of you have viewed this. That's amazing. So yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for the support. And thanks for, we know our members are the best, but it's just great to see it in action. Now, what's interesting here is we go over to the football stats software. Obviously, this is where you create your strategies. This is where kind of the strategies were created. And in my save filters, the one that I told you about was layaway 1.0, which is this one here, a couple of selections today. Now, I'll click on this again. You'll see there's a lot of layaways, layaway 3.0, layaway PPG, etc., etc. They are all offshoots of this strategy. In fact, backaway is also an offshoot of this strategy, and I will explain that later. So let's go over to the actual filter itself and take a look. So here is the strategy, as you can see here on the screen. Now, the profit to £10, these are £10 lay stakes, okay? So we're not using big stakes here. Over £1,000, okay? Brilliant. Brilliant profit. Now, it has been higher than this, quite a bit higher actually, which is interesting. We'll get into that. ROI 1.37. Doesn't it just show as well that you shouldn't be so transfixed on ROI when really what you should be transfixed on is how much money is it actually making? Because if I told you right now, okay, here's a strategy, all you're going to have to do is put £10 stakes on, lay stakes on, and you're going to make £1,000 in 2 years. You take that all day. In fact, you'd probably put £100 lay stakes on and make 10 grand, wouldn't you? I wouldn't blame you for that. But yeah, we've got the next important thing here really is that 3,000 selections, average odds are below 4. So again, we're not laying at massive odds here. It's not like we're having huge liabilities, which again is important. So let's get into it. And as we've crossed the 3,000 mark, as you can see here now recently, we're going to analyze the results. The first thing I always do is look at odds. Okay. Now you might look at this and think, well, how are you going to look at odds? Because all the odds, they're all over the place. And you're right. So all I'm going to do here is right click at the top of this column. And actually, before I do that, very quickly, I want to show you the graph of this strategy. So I've got a little running P&L total here. And basically it just tots up the profit and loss running as you go. The reason you do this is that if you click the column, you can then insert a chart. And I really want you to see this chart. So that's the column chart. Let's go to the line chart, a bit easier to see. You can see here how it's performed. It actually started quite low, got up really high, got up towards 2,000, and then it's had a dip, and it's got down to around 1,000, okay? So that kind of shows you, the nature of set and forget strategies. They can be up and down. I mean, look, even early on, it was down. Even in the middle here, you've got a down moment. So you're going to get a lot of variance with this stuff. And at the moment, it's come down quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see whether that trend continues or it goes back up. If I don't look overly concerned, it's because the tweaks we've made have actually managed to counter this bad run. And that's interesting. I'll show you that in itself. So we'll get rid of that. That's distraction. Now, what we want to do is go to the odds chart. I'm just going to right click and we're going to sort sheet A to Z. And this will basically give us a really clear indication of the odds. So I've gone to the top of the page. Now, what you might notice here, so these are the profit and loss per bets. So, obviously if you're laying at 1.02, you're not going to lose much money. But look, what's interesting here is that virtually all of these odds-on ones lose. Look, they're all minus, minus, minus. You get the odd win, but it's mainly minus, 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 minus. Okay. Now, I actually looked into this and we worked out that odds up until 2.3 lose really badly. So I'm gonna demonstrate this. I'll clear all the odds above 2.3. Okay, so I've selected all the games that aren't 2.3 or below, that are 2.3 or above. Just going to delete all of those. And look at this. Minus £474 from those odds ranges. 19% ROI loss. That's huge, right? So what's this telling us? This is clearly telling us this odds range needs to be removed. But not only that, we should be backing these odds, okay? Well, we did that. I've got that strategy already lined up. We've been doing that for a while. I'll show you the results of that right now. I'm just going to get this back to how it was because I don't obviously want to lose it. So if we go to the back away, here's the results of testing. And I've been doing this since the end of December. Now, I've only had 45 selection. It doesn't get a ton, about 10, 11, 12 a month, okay? But what it does get is quality selections. Now, we've already seen that it would have made a lot of money if we backed the away team from the testing prior. Even in this little space here, we're 16 points up from £10 stakes, 36% ROI, really high strike rate. And basically, everything 2.3 or below the away team seems to win. Why is that? Well, I think it's because if the away team is that far ahead of the odds, if they're that short in that situation where they really shouldn't be, it's probably because there's a reason for it, and that's why this works well. Okay, fine, good. This is good. I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to keep doing this one. Let's get back to the original sheet. Now, I worked out the odds range that works best is 3.7 to 5.5. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to remove the low end and the high end of the odds range. I always feel like when you've got enough data to analyze, you should do this. You should take out the bottom end that doesn't work and the top end that doesn't work. Now, you might go, well, Martin, all the odds work. Great, you don't need to remove anything. But often I find there is a top end and a bottom end, and there's kind of a middle ground that works. Now, what I will also say is, let's say I go through it and I find the odds of 4.0 are really bad, but odds of 4.1 make money and 4.2 and above that make money, and below it they make money. Some people go, oh, I better take odds of 4.0 out. No, that doesn't make any sense, because why would 4.0 not work, but 4.1 and 3.9 do? It doesn't make sense, right? So don't try and cherry pick. This is a mistake people make with backfitting. Don't try and cherry pick certain odds. Just go, right, where's my range? Where should my range be? Okay, that's where my range is going to be. We know that here it's 3.7 to 5.5. Now, before I get rid of those results, let's have a look. P&L 1176, okay, and ROI of 1.37. And the ROI is really important because that's what you're aiming to get up in this instant. Okay, so I've done that now. And as you can see, our profit has gone up, despite the fact we have actually removed half of our selections, so less chances to win. We've actually made more money overall. But more importantly, actually, is the ROI, which is much higher, which is actually doubled and is an extremely healthy place. So clearly 3.7 to 5.5 works really well. The next thing I would do here is remove the leagues that aren't working. Okay, I'm not going to go through that now. That takes a little bit longer. But that's the next step. That's how to analyze a strategy properly. Now, you might think, okay, Martin, so you've got this info. What do you do with it? Do you just make this new filter, get rid of the old? No, I don't get rid of the old one. I do make new filters. And this is why I've got a few different ones. Now, for example, this layaway 0.8 here that I've just started, this is someone on the forum said works well when you're considering the away team's points per game, okay? And 0.8 is the margin they go for, okay? I've got another one that does 1.5 points per game instead, okay? So that's just a little tweak that's added that you can test. But the thing is, remember, these are all derivations of your original filter. So you always keep the original data set. And I always keep testing this. And I'm going to get to 4,000 results. Then I'll do another analysis. Then I'll get to 5,000 results. And I'm going to keep doing this. And this stuff is fascinating. But I've been doing it. So last time, the strategy, my 2.0 version I created was this one, which is layaway odds plus league. Okay. So this was when we got to 2,000 results. I think maybe we're just a bit past it, actually. So I think I missed that day. Now, how's it perform? It's £142 up. Okay, so that's really good. 345 selections. ROI is not mega high. Okay, 1.15. You might think that's a bit disappointing. It is until you actually check it against the original filter. So let's look at the results from the 23rd of December 2023 on the original filter. So I've got the original sheet here, and we've got the 23rd of December, which starts here with Frosinone Juventus. This is the P&L sheet. So all we're going to do is pull down here all the way to the bottom. And basically, we're going to copy this over and have a look at it in terms of the results. So I've selected all of those. All you need to do here actually on Google Sheets is just hit sum and then enter, and it will actually tell you the result. And you can see the result from that date. This original filter is 56 points down, £565. Okay, quite a hit, right? Quite a hit. Okay, but what's amazing is that the tweak is actually £142 up. And this has all been done forward testing. This has all been tested. It's not like we're going back and just looking at something and going, oh, wow, look at this result. So, I mean, you're talking about nearly a £700 swing based on some tweaks, just based on odds filter and making sure you're getting the right odds range and some league filtering. Now, I've done a 3.0 version, which is slightly tweaked again. If you want a copy of that, just say lay away and I will send that over to you. But basically, all we're doing there is we're chopping down the odds to 5.5. So we're not laying anything above 5.5, which I like. I always like when you can bring that higher end in a little bit. And if the higher odds aren't performing, that's always good to get rid of because you're not going to be laying at high odds ideally. And the other thing is I've done a little bit of league tweaking, a couple of leagues added in, a couple of leagues taken away. And we'll see what happens at 4,000. But the important thing is I'm never removing my original strategy. You know, I've got layaway 3.0 here. We're going to start testing it, but I've still got layaway 2.0. I've still got layaway 1.0. I've still got the ones where I'm testing how the actual way teams perform as well. So this strategy has a lot of legs. Now, the back away, again, is actually the best performer of the lot, amazingly. It doesn't get a lot of selections. But again, if you combine the back away with the layaway 3.0, that's 30 points profit, okay, from this one strategy in, 3 months, 3 and a bit months. So you're talking 10 points a month on average, when the original filter would have lost you 50 plus points. So that's a massive swing. And that is why if you analyze a strategy properly, you can create opportunities for yourself. Now, will this continue to have this kind of success? I don't know. I still want to get results. I'm still going to be recording all this. Now, it's actually quite easy to record the results. And I'll leave you with this because remember, every single selection on your original data set will be on all the others. So you don't have to go and get the results for all these matches over and over again. All you have to do is record the data on your first sheet, on your main sheet, and then on your second screen, get the tab up again and go to the next filter and then see, oh, what was the result? Oh, there it is. And just quickly type, did it win, did it lose, what was the profit? Or just copy and paste it over. It's that simple. So, you know, this might look more complex than it is. It really isn't. But this is worth it. You know, this is something that it takes me a few minutes each day. Okay, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10, maybe on the weekend near a half an hour. But look at the dividends it can pay and look at how it can teach you about trading strategies and things like that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed this video, say the word tweak. And that will let me know you enjoyed it and that you want more videos like this in the future. Guys, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for all the help. Thank you for all the nice feedback as well. I get so many nice messages from you guys. I'm so glad that we're able to help so many of you. You know, I enjoy doing these videos. I enjoy doing the YouTube stuff, especially because obviously we have the membership, but all this stuff we do on YouTube is absolutely free, obviously. And I like to be able to give back. All right, guys, have a great week. But most importantly of all, as ever, of course, I hope you make some money trading on Betfair.